I'd like to present Robert with the Shushan Righteous Gentile Goblet for heroism in the spirit of Purim. It's the goblet.
Thank you very much. All I need is the champagne to fill it with. But thank you very much. Can't tell you how honored I am by this award, by being recognized in this way. It was actually at the very beginning of my... Oh, by the way, before I begin, do you like my costume? This is an Islamophobe costume. An Islamophobe, of course, is the pejorative term that is used to dismiss and to demonize those who are pointing out the truth, the reality of what the free world is facing, and particularly Israel is facing. Israel is on the front line of what is a global jihad. And it was at the very beginning of my awareness about these issues when I had started in the 80s to read the Quran and to study Islam for wholly different reasons, and then read the works of the great historian Bat-Yaor, who is somebody that I highly recommend that you should all read. And she explained that that in Islamic law, the mandate for Jews and for Christians together is to be relegated to a second-class status and to be denied basic rights so that they would always feel the sting of their rejection of Muhammad and Islam. This is at the heart of what is the reason why all the peace accords and all the roadmaps and every attempt to make peace between Israel and the Palestinians has failed. The Palestinian Arabs will never be satisfied with anything but the total destruction of Israel, because it is an insult to Islam for non-Muslims to be ruling land that they believe belongs to the House of Islam. And Bat-Yaor explained that it was very important for Jews and Christians particularly to stand together in this, because we both face the same fate if our enemies succeed. And that one of the things that the Muslim Islamic supremacists did in order to try to consolidate their rule, was to divide the dhimmi communities, the communities that were subjugated under their rule, and make them antagonistic toward each other, so that they would not band together and resist the oppression that was being imposed upon them. And so it is imperative that we fight that, and fight all attempts to divide us, and instead stand together and recognize that Israel is at the vanguard of the struggle for freedom today, of the struggle for individual rights, of the struggle for the dignity of the human person. And if we do not defend Israel, and if, God forbid, Israel were to be defeated, then the rest of the free world is on the way out. And it's all over for all of us, because it is all the same struggle. It is the struggle, and I do not exaggerate, between light and darkness and between good and evil. It is the struggle between totalitarian control and the boot on the face, and the struggle and the flowering of the human individual. It is the struggle between those who would oppress and subjugate and those who would let the spirit flower and be free. And that is what we are doing. That is what we are involved in this fight in order to protect. When we talk about fighting against jihad, we are talking about fighting for a vision of society that has enabled the nobility of the human spirit in a way that no other societies ever have in the history of the world. And that vision of society is fundamentally Judeo-Christian at its heart. And it is Judeo-Christian Western civilization that has given the world the notion of the freedom of speech, the notion of the freedom of conscience, the notion of the equality of rights of all people under the law, and the equality of dignity of all people. Islamic law challenges and contradicts every one of those principles. And so when they say that when we fight against them we are Islamophobes and haters, and I'm wearing my Islamophobe costume tonight, the reality is that this is all part of the lie that they perpetrate in order to subvert the true principles of freedom. And we stand against the lie and for the truth. I am deeply, deeply honored to be here and to be honored in this way. really, it is my privilege to stand with Israel and with all the Jewish people who have been at the forefront throughout their history of the defense of freedom, of the articulation of the principles of the dignity of the human person. And so it is with great honor that I am here, and thank you. And I hope you all have a great evening.